Dear student, I welcome all of you for my first lecture
for physics paper number PH 5502. Okay.
You have to learn Unit 1 and Unit 2 from physics paper number PH 5502.
The name of Unit 1 and 2 is molecular spectroscopy.
So I am going to teach you molecular spectroscopy, Unit 1 and 2 of physics paper PH 5502.
Okay.
First of all, I give you the name of the textbook. The name of the textbook for this syllabus is Atomic So textbook is Atomic and Molecular Spectra.
The author is Rajkumar.
So Unit 1 and 2 of this paper is taken from the textbook Atomic and Molecular Spectra by Rajkumar. Okay. So today we will start Unit 1 of PH 5502. But before we start to study Unit 1, we will give some important definitions. What is a molecule, what is a dipole moment, what different types of molecules are there, and so on. Okay. So as all of you know that molecule when two atoms are chemically bonded, they will form a molecule. You know very well that when two atoms, atom 1 and atom 2, are chemically bonded, they will form a molecule. Okay. There are, as for example, HCl molecule is made up of two atoms, H atom and Cl atom. So H atom and Cl atom, when chemically bonded, they will form a molecule. The distance between these two atoms R is called internuclear distance. R is called so this is atom 1 of the molecule, atom 2 of the molecule. When two atoms are chemically bonded, they will form a molecule. Okay, R is the distance between two atoms is called internuclear distance. Okay, in equilibrium position it is denoted by Re. So Re is the internuclear distance. In equilibrium position, that is the distance between two atoms of the molecule. So you know, you have a basic idea about the molecule. There are two types of molecule. There are two types of the molecule. One is homonuclear molecule and the second one is heteronuclear molecule. So these are the two types of molecule, homonuclear molecule and heteronuclear molecule. Now we define what is a homonuclear molecule and heteronuclear molecule. When homonuclear molecules is H2, N2, O2. You can see that H2, N2 and O2 are called homonuclear molecule. Means the molecule having two like atoms, HH or NN or O, they are called homonuclear. So molecule having two like atoms are called homonuclear molecule. Again, I repeat, molecule having two same atoms, HH or NN or OO. Okay, so molecule having two same atoms, like atoms, is called a homonuclear molecule. In homonuclear molecule, center of positive charge and center of negative charge coincide. So the separation between two charges is zero. In homonuclear molecule, the center of positive charge plus q and center of negative charge minus q coincide. So the separation between two charges is zero. As a result, the dipole moment of the homonuclear molecule is zero. I think you must be knowing about dipole. What is a dipole? Dipole is a system of two similar charges and opposite charges. Dipole is a system of two similar and opposite charges plus q and minus q separated by finite distance r. Okay. The dipole moment is defined as 1 of the charge q into distance between two charges r. Okay. And the direction of dipole moment is always from minus q to plus q. The direction of electric field is from plus q to minus q. The direction of dipole moment is opposite, from minus q to plus q. So dipole is a system of two similar and opposite charges plus q and minus q separated by a finite distance r. The dipole moment P is defined as 1 of the charge magnitude q into the separation between two charges r. Okay. Now, as I told you, in homonuclear molecule, the center of positive charge and center of negative charge coincide. So the separation r between two charges is zero. As a result, the dipole moment of the homonuclear molecule q into r, as the center of positive charge and negative charge coincide, r is zero. So dipole moment of the homonuclear molecule is zero. Means homonuclear molecule do not possess permanent dipole moment. So this is about homonuclear molecule, that the molecule having two like atoms, same atoms like HH, NN, HH, NN or O are called homonuclear molecule. In homonuclear molecule, center of positive charge and negative charge coincide. As a result, the dipole moment of the homonuclear molecule is zero. So homonuclear molecule do not possess the permanent dipole moment. Now, what is a heteronuclear molecule? First, I give you the example of heteronuclear molecule like HCl, HBr, carbon monoxide, hydrogen fluoride, means a molecule having two unlike atoms. Molecules having two unlike atoms, like in HCl, H and Cl are two different atoms. HBr, H and Br are two different atoms. So molecule having two different atoms is called a heteronuclear molecule. In heteronuclear molecule, center of positive charge and negative charge do not coincide. So R is not equal to 0. In heteronuclear molecule, center of positive charge and negative charge do not coincide. In homonuclear, they coincide, but in heteronuclear molecule, center of positive charge and negative charge do not coincide. So the separation between two charges is not zero. Therefore, the dipole moment of the heteronuclear molecule is not equal to 0. Means heteronuclear molecule possess permanent dipole moment. So this is the two types of molecule, homonuclear and heteronuclear. I repeat once again, the molecule having two same atoms, like H2N2O2 are called homonuclear molecule. In homonuclear molecule, center of positive charge and negative charge coincide. So the dipole moment is 0. So homonuclear molecule do not possess dipole moment. On the other hand, the molecule having two different atoms like H and Cl, H and Br, C and O, they are called heteronuclear molecule. In heteronuclear molecule, center of positive charge and negative charge do not coincide, so their dipole moment is not zero. So heteronuclear molecule possess the permanent dipole moment. Okay. Next, in unit 1, we will learn different types of molecular spectra. In unit 1, we will study different types of molecular spectra and molecular energy states. So in unit 1, first we see the different types of molecular spectra and molecular energy levels. Now, suppose I take the example of HCl molecule, which is the bonding of H atom and Cl atom, and the internuclear distance between two atoms is R. This is the center of mass. This is the axis passing through the center of mass. Now the molecule is performing two types of motion. One is the rotational motion. That molecule is rotating about an axis passing through the center of mass. Molecule is rotating about an axis passing through the center of mass. Due to the rotation of the molecule, the rotational energy level of the molecule is going to change. As a result, it will give rotational spectra. Over and above the rotational motion, the two atoms, H atom and Cl atom, two atoms of the molecule H atom and Cl atom are vibrating about their equilibrium position. So due to the vibrational motion of H atom and Cl atom, we get vibrational spectra because its vibrational energy is going to change. So as I told you, due to the rotational motion of the molecule about the axis of rotation, the rotational energy level of the molecule is going to change. As a result, we get rotational spectra. Then due to the vibrational motion of the molecule, the vibrational energy level of the molecule is going to change. As a result, we get vibrational spectra. And one more spectra is electronic spectra. Which we will study in the next term. So electronic spectra is a very complex spectra. In electronic spectra, the rotational energy of the molecule is going to change, vibrational energy of the molecule is going to change, and electronic energy of the molecule is also going to change. So we have to consider vibrational transitions as well as rotational transitions. So today we will focus on rotational spectra. Due to the rotational motion of the molecule, the rotational energy level of the molecule is going to change. As a result, we will get rotational spectra. So as I told you that the molecular spectra can be classified into three spectra according to three spectral range. The molecular spectra is classified into three spectral ranges corresponding to different types of transition, rotational transitions, vibrational transitions, and so on, right? Okay. Rotational spectra, the first article of this rotational spectra, the first article is salient features of rotational spectra. So what are the main principal features of pure rotational spectra? That is our first article of rotational spectra. Okay, our chapter, the name of the chapter is pure rotational spectra. Okay, as I told you that due to the rotation of the molecule, about an axis passing through the center of mass, molecule has different rotational energy levels. Suppose I draw two rotational energy level. The first important feature, yes, this is the lower rotational energy level, and this is the upper rotational energy level. Okay. So due to the rotational motion of the molecule, about an axis passing through the center of mass, molecule has different rotational energy level. If the rotational energy is less, you can say the molecule is in the lower energy level. If the rotational energy of the molecule is more, molecule is rotating fast, then the rotational energy of the molecule is more, we can say that molecule is in the upper energy level. Okay. So I have shown two rotational energy level, lower rotational energy level and upper rotational energy level. Now when molecule makes a transition between two rotational levels, then its rotational energy is going to change and it will give the rotational spectra. So first important feature of the rotational spectra is, you can say that rotational spectra arise from transitions between two rotational energies. So this is the first salient feature of the rotational spectra. When molecule makes a transition from one rotational energy level to the other rotational energy level, it will give the rotational spectra. That is written that rotational spectra arise, or rotational spectra is obtained from transitions of the molecule between two rotational energy levels. So rotational spectra arise from the transition of the molecule between lower rotational energy level and upper energy level. In easy language, you can say when molecule makes a transition from lower rotational energy level to upper rotational energy level, we get rotational spectra. So rotational spectra arise from transitions of the molecule between two rotational energy levels. Okay. Second is, this is the first salient feature of the rotational spectra. Now this rotational spectra is obtained as I told you, when molecule makes a transition between two rotational energy levels, then we get rotational spectra. This rotational spectra, second feature, rotational spectra is observed in far infrared whose wavelength is 10⁻²² micron to 10⁻³ micron, or microwave region. So in which region of the electromagnetic spectrum rotational spectra is observed? So it is observed that rotational spectra is observed in far infrared region whose wavelength is 10⁻² micron to 10⁻³ micron, or
rotational spectra is observed in microwave region.
This is also a MCQ, that in which region rotational spectra is observed.
So rotational spectra is observed in far infrared region or microwave region of the electromagnetic spectrum.
Okay. Now,
What is this micron? You must be knowing 1 micron. 1 micron is equal to 10 raised to minus 4 centimeter or 10 raised to minus 6 meter.
1 micron is equal to 10 raised to minus 4 centimeter or 10 raised to minus 6 meter.
Okay. The third important feature,
Okay, so please be careful about the salient features.
the first important feature of the rotational spectra is that rotational spectra arise from the transition of the molecule from one rotational level to the other rotational level, and second, that rotational spectra is observed
In far infrared region or
microwave region.
the third feature is that only those molecules which possess the permanent dipole moment, they are able to give the rotational spectra. So only
Heteronuclear molecule which possess
permanent dipole moment
will absorb or emit radiation and give rotational spectra. So only heteronuclear molecule
in which the heteronuclear molecule, you know very well that molecule having two different atoms
like HCl,
HBr, CO, HF.
okay. So heteronuclear molecule which possess permanent dipole moment, they will absorb the radiation or they can emit the radiation.
And they are able to give the rotational spectra. It means homonuclear molecule do not give rotational spectra because homonuclear molecule do not possess the permanent dipole moment.
So only heteronuclear molecule which possess the permanent dipole moment
Will give the rotational spectra. Homonuclear molecule will not give the rotational spectra because homonuclear molecule do not possess the permanent dipole moment.
The next feature is
We have not obtained the rotational energy. In the next lecture, we are going to obtain the equation of rotational energy of the molecule, and then how the rotational spectra will be produced. That we will study in the next lecture. But before that,
I mentioned the feature of rotational spectra, that rotational spectra is observed in absorption.
rotational spectra mainly observed in absorption.
So we get
Absorption rotation. It is called absorption rotational spectra.
if you study absorption spectra of the molecule, it is made up of equidistance lines.
So absorption rotational spectra is composed of a series of equidistance lines. How these equidistance lines are observed in rotational spectra, that we are going to study in the next lectures. But I have to mention the special feature of the rotational spectra. That rotational spectra is composed of a series of equidistance lines. Okay, these are known as rotational lines. ये लाइंस को क्या बोलते हैं? रोटेशनल लाइंस. ओके. Now, what is the application of this rotational spectra? If you study the rotational spectra and analyze the rotational spectra, you will be able to calculate moment of inertia of molecule, I. From the study of rotational spectra, we will be able to find the moment of inertia of the molecule and internuclear distance r. So moment of inertia I of the molecule and internuclear distance r of the molecule can be calculated if you study the rotational spectra of the molecule. So this is the importance of rotational spectra, that moment of inertia of the molecule and internuclear distance r of the molecule can be calculated by from the study and analysis of the rotational spectra. Okay. Why we are getting equidistance lines in the rotational spectra? That we are going to study in the next lecture. Second article of this chapter is molecular requirement for rotational spectra. Second article of this chapter is molecular requirement for rotational spectra. As I told you that homonuclear molecule which do not possess the dipole moment, they are not able to give the rotational spectra. Only heteronuclear molecule which possess the dipole moment, they can give the rotational spectra. So the basic molecular requirement for rotational spectra is that molecule must possess permanent dipole moment. The basic and fundamental requirement for a pure rotational spectra is that molecule must possess permanent dipole moment. Means only heteronuclear molecule will be able to give the rotational spectra because they possess the dipole moment. Homonuclear molecule do not give the rotational spectra because they don't have the permanent dipole moment. Okay. So this is the basic requirement for the rotational spectra, that molecule must possess permanent dipole moment. So heteronuclear molecule can give the rotational spectra, but homonuclear molecule do not give the rotational spectra because they don't have the permanent dipole moment. Now there are two types of rotational spectra: emission spectra and absorption spectra. Okay. According to classical electrodynamics, the rotating molecule, when molecule is rotating, its dipole moment in a fixed direction is continuously changing. The basic requirement that the dipole moment of the molecule must change in order to get the rotational spectra. So according to classical electrodynamics, the rotating molecule can emit the radiation. Rotating molecule can emit the radiation only if the changing dipole moment is associated with it. So homonuclear molecule are not giving the rotational spectra, only heteronuclear molecule will give the rotational spectra. Now what happens
during the rotation of the molecule. During the rotation of the molecule, when molecule is rotating, the component of dipole moment in a fixed direction is changing. During the rotation of the molecule, the component of dipole moment in a fixed direction is changing. As a result, it will emit the radiation. Okay. Second one is absorption spectrum. Actually, this rotational spectra is mainly observed in absorption. So we will focus on the absorption spectra. What happens? Suppose this is a rotating molecule. The frequency of rotation of the molecule is nu rho. What is nu rho? It is the frequency of rotation. So let us consider a rotating molecule whose frequency of rotation is nu rho. Now when infrared radiation is incident on the rotating molecule, and if the frequency of the incident radiation coincides with the frequency of the rotating molecule, then the incident infrared molecule is interacting with the rotating molecule. The molecule will absorb the radiation, and when molecule will absorb the radiation, when molecule will absorb the incident infrared radiation, then the rotational energy of the rotating molecule will increase, and the rotational energy of the rotating molecule will increase. As a result, molecule will make a transition from lower rotational level to the upper rotational level. In short, molecule is pushed to the upper rotational energy level, and it will give the absorption rotational spectrum. So this is important for this, that when infrared radiation whose frequency coincides with the rotational frequency of the molecule, then the infrared incident radiation is interacting with the rotating molecule. The rotating molecule will absorb the incident radiation, and due to the absorption of the radiation by the molecule, the rotational energy of the molecule will increase. As a result, molecule will make a transition from lower rotational level to upper rotational level, and it will give the rotational spectrum. So this is very important. When infrared radiation is incident on the molecule and frequency of the infrared radiation is equal to the frequency of rotation of the molecule, then there is an interaction between infrared radiation and molecule. Molecule will absorb the radiation, its rotational energy will increase, and molecule goes from lower rotational level to the upper rotational level, and molecule will do the absorption rotational spectra. Okay. The third article of this chapter, I just give a important points of third article. Okay, the molecule has a rigid rotator. Molecule has a rigid rotator. And explanation of rotational spectrum.
When you study this article, in this article we are going to obtain, we are going to solve the Schrodinger equation for molecule, and we will obtain the rotational energy. We will study the rotational transitions, and we will study how the rotational spectra is obtained. So you will be, you can clearly understand the salient features of the rotational spectra. Okay, now this is a diatomic molecule. Diatomic molecule can be considered as a rigid rotator. So we can apply the rigid rotator model for diatomic molecule. Now what is a rigid rotator? You must be knowing that rigid rotator is a system of two particles rigidly held together and capable of rotating about an axis passing through the center of mass. Once again, rigid, what is a rigid rotator? You have studied that rigid rotator is a system of two particles. Rigid rotator is a system of two particles rigidly held together and capable of rotating about an axis passing through the center of mass. So rigid rotator is a system of two particles rigidly held together and capable of rotating about an axis passing through the center of mass. Now our diatomic molecule having two atoms, H atom and Cl atom, means two particles. Okay, and if we assume that the internuclear distance R is fixed, constant, then we can consider this diatomic molecule as a rigid rotator and can apply the rigid rotator model to our diatomic molecule. Okay, now the size, the atom can be, this is atom 1 whose mass is m1, and the distance of atom 1 from the center of mass is r1. This is atom 2 whose mass is m2, and distance of atom 2 from the center of mass is r2. So let us consider diatomic molecule equivalent to a rigid rotator. Mass of atom 1 is m1, mass of atom 2 is m2. The distance of atom 1 from the center of mass is r1, and distance of atom 2 from the center of mass is r2. Then moment of inertia of this molecule is defined as m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square. So the moment of inertia of a diatomic molecule is defined as m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square. Now in 12th standard you have studied the simple lever rule. m1 r1 is equal to m2 r2. From the simple lever rule, m1 r1 is equal to m2 r2. You will be able to get the value of r1 and r2. I directly write the value of r1, that comes r into m2 upon m1 plus m2. And value of r2 comes out to be r into m1 upon m1 plus m2. If you substitute these values, the value of r1 is equal to r into m2 upon m1 plus m2 here, and substitute the value of r2 is equal to r into m1 upon m1 plus m2 here, and solve the equation, you will get the moment of inertia of the molecule comes out to be m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 into r square. This is a very easy calculation. You can do yourself that if you substitute the value of r1 is equal to r into m2 upon m1 plus m2 and r2 is equal to r into m1 upon m1 plus m2 in the main equation of moment of inertia here and here, you will get the final equation m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 into r square. Okay. This is a well-known term. m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 is called reduced mass of the molecule mu. This m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 is called the reduced mass of the molecule mu. So mu is equal to m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 is called reduced mass of the molecule, where m1 is the mass of atom 1 of the molecule and m2 is the mass of atom 2 of the molecule. So m1 m2 upon m1 plus m2 is a
very important term, it is called the reduced mass of the molecule. Therefore, we can consider the diatomic molecule as a single point mass at a fixed distance r from the axis of rotation. This is axis of rotation. So we can consider diatomic molecule, which is made of two atoms, can be considered diatomic molecule is equivalent to a single point mass mu at a fixed distance r from the axis of rotation. Okay. Next lecture we will stop here. In the next lecture we will consider this diatomic molecule as a rigid rotator. We will apply the rigid rotator model, solve the Schrodinger equation for rigid rotator to obtain the rotational energy of the molecule. And once you get the rotational energy of the molecule, you will be able to understand the rotational spectra. Thank you very much.